So just for context, I knew nothing about this movie going in. I didn't read the book. I didn't see the play. I didn't listen to the soundtrack. I went into this completely blind, not knowing that much about it. And I have to say, it is probably the worst film of the year so far. It's disgusting. It's tasteless. It's exploitative. It has one of the most unlikable main characters I've seen in any movie, because the main character is so selfish, you can't root for him, and even by the end of the movie, he learns nothing. Throughout the film, the main character, Evan, lies to this poor family whose son committed suicide after a misunderstanding about how he knew him. Now, granted, if Evan had told the truth right away, the movie would only be like 30 minutes long, but Evan continues to actually get more unlikable and selfish as the movie goes on. It's character development in reverse. You manage to hate him more and more as the movie goes on. He continues to exploit this family for clout. He pretends to have known this kid so he can get things out of his family and try to date his sister. His entire character just acts in his own self-interest the whole time. And it's incredibly hard to root for him, which is so frustrating because you hate the main character just so dang much. Now, Amy Adams does give a fantastic performance here as the mother of the character who commits suicide, and you can see her pain, and you feel so bad for her, which actually works in the film's favor because you manage to hate the character of Evan even more because of it. And what really just turned me off to this movie was there's a moment in the film where Evan, who is still lying, he hasn't learned his lesson at all, gives a big speech at the character's funeral. And everyone films it and puts it online. And one of the video titles of his speech is, "His best friend killed himself. You won't believe what he did next." So they use a clickbait title for clout. And that is just tasteless and disgusting. And this whole film, you should be ashamed of yourself. It is incredibly disgusting and tasteless. And on top of that, it feels less like a film and just a screen version of a Broadway production. Every scene just feels like we're watching a play. They don't take advantage of the film medium very well. Granted, it is hard to adapt plays into film sometimes, but there's films like 2012's Les Mis with Anne Hathaway and Hugh Jackman that prove that you can do it well, incredibly well, but this feels lazily adapted. Now, the songs are well done, and Ben Platt, despite how awful and unlikable his character is, does actually have a really fantastic voice. But the movie is just tasteless and exploitative, with a lot of bigger issues regarding the main character and plot that it simply asks you to ignore. Dear Stephen Chbosky, your movie sucks and you should be ashamed of yourself. Sincerely, me. I give Dear Evan Hansen a D, a 2 out of 10, a 1 out of 5 stars, and the 1 star is for Amy Adams because dang, her performance was powerful. So if you're a fan of the play, you might enjoy it, though I honestly don't see how anybody could be a fan of this. But for everyone else, don't even bother renting when it comes out. Just skip it entirely.